Hi, my name is Mick Jones. I'm chairman of the Irish Military Vehicle Group. This group is set up by a group of like-minded people who have an interest in all military vehicles. They like purchasing and restoring the vehicles to show condition. All these vehicles are privately owned and privately maintained. The members themselves look after the vehicles and they bring them to shows for educational purposes. Anyone can join this group. They don't have to have any particular skills and they don't have to own a vehicle. Lots of our members here don't have a vehicle, but they are still an intricate part of the club because they contribute and help other members that have more than one vehicle to keep their vehicles on the road and keep them maintained. This vehicle we have here at the moment is a Saracen APC. It's under restoration at the moment. The colour you see it in now is just an undercoat. It's not a desert vehicle. It'll eventually be painted in matte green, and we hope to have it in one of our first shows this year.
My name's Ross Moran. I'm 26 years of age. I'm from Ladytown and I do all the spray painting here for the IMVG. Kieran Flynn was one of the members, was actually my lecturer in FOSS when I was studying for a cabinet maker, and he sort of convinced me to join, and to this day I'm still in it, so must have done something right.
My name is Kieran Flynn. I am a Defence Executive of the Irish Military Vehicle Group, which means I look after organising of shows, coming and going to shows, and loading of equipment and all that type of thing. I've been in the Irish Military Vehicle Group since its inception in 2005, and I was the first chairman of the group.
My name's Finbar, and I'm in the Irish Military Vehicle Group it's almost from its inception, and I work on most of the vehicles with a restoration, and I can drive most of them as well. I don't own one, but I get to play with them every weekend, most of the day.
Jennifer, I'm the club secretary. I organise all the events for the club and inform the members of where to be and when to be there.
I'm Oral McCarthy. I'm a general member.
So let us introduce ourselves. My name is Dorota, that's my husband Eric.
Hi. And we are members of Irish Military Vehicles Group. Originally we're from Poland. We live in Dublin now. We're a member of the club for the last 2 years.
But we are cooperating for quite a while, as we're involved in reenactment since we remember, really.
Yeah, so we were hanging around the club for a few years now, and at this stage we own 2 vehicles, so it was just a matter of time that we joined the club.
My name is Tom Kelly. I'm a member of the IMVG for about 6 or 7 years now.
Hi folks, my name is Paul Howe. I've been a member of the Military Vehicle Club for about 10 years or so. The vehicle you're sitting in here at the moment is my 1985 Chevrolet CUCV, which is the American US Marine Corps term for Commercial Utility Cargo Vehicle. You know how the Americans like to make acronyms, but this is my baby, and basically I bought it about 7 years ago. I've restored it to as you see it now. What I have done though is I have put it into a kind of a signals car. So my interest in the club, I would say, even though I'm not a signaller, I like old military radios. So these radios you see here to your left and right are what I have in my truck here at the moment. Those people that served in the Irish Army would recognise this as being the old RT524 46 set. It's a transceiver these are 2 receivers, and over the far side another radio that would be known to Irish soldiers would have been the old 77 set mounted in an amplifier here. I like this end of it myself. I buy old radios, I restore them, and I have limited knowledge in how to get them going, but most of the time I get them going. I like the truck. I've had this now for 7 years. I've had Land Rovers, Acmats and stuff like that. Maybe I'm getting a bit older, I just like a bit of comfort, so I got my leather seats, I got my air conditioning. It's nice, and plus it looks cool, so it works for me.
Well, we normally would only meet on a Sunday, but when the weather's good, we'd probably meet on Saturdays and Sundays, do the full weekend down here. The time we get it here and it's steam cleaned, and we assess what needs to be done. Like the Saracen that you saw earlier on, we kind of knew that it was lying in a field for 10 years, but I actually work on vintage Bentleys also, and from what I knew of those engines, you could go out into a field 10 years later, change the fuel, and it'll run. And that one ran, so we knew all we had to do was cosmetic, and a lot of rubbing down and a lot of freeing of hatches, because it was left literally sitting out in the field, and there was about 1.5 inches of moss on it. And once we got all that sorted, we got the engine running. That's actually in undercoat at the moment. It is going to be painted. It will actually resemble the Airfix model version of it. It'll be plain green. And we do shows during the year. We actually go to the UK later on in the year for about 11 days to a massive show where there's about 5,000 vehicles. And that's where we pick up an awful lot of the spares for these, and new ideas as to what to do. We have our own camping, and everybody here, like, it's a small military operation going on the ferry. They're not sure what's happening when we turn up at the docks with all this stuff. But it's very enjoyable. You don't need a vehicle. All the weapons here are deactivated, so they're perfectly safe, and that we do have a health and safety policy here with lifting and stuff like that, and dangerous chemicals, the whole lot. And driving, there's a limit on what you can do age-wise driving. But normally we drive in convoy, and there's always a spare seat for somebody to drive somewhere to and from a show, which is a great thrill for anybody who hasn't done it. We drink loads of tea and tell loads of stories.
Come to the club once a week.
It's usually Sundays, so there's always something to do, because it's vintage vehicles. So Land Rovers are famous for leaking oil, for electrics that don't really work as they should. You wouldn't believe how many jokes about Land Rover electrics is there, but they're actually not jokes. Most of them is true, because we're in reenactment as well as just military vehicles, so we like to spice it up slightly, so it's just not the vehicles but uniforms, as well as we got the casualty in the back of the ambulance.
And because I'm a model maker in the meantime, so again, joined few interests.
My husband has an interest in military history, and he joined first and bought a Land Rover. And it was a case of come with him or be at home alone with 2 children all the time. So I joined, and now I've been the secretary for 5 years.
My interest was reignited, I suppose, when I bought a 1977 Land Rover. And I joined the club, I suppose, basically to get the help of others, to enlist the help of others in the project of getting it back on the road. But it's a good crew here, and we just all help out when needed.
My first vehicle was a motorcycle, and I went to the War and Peace show in 2002. At this stage, I have 8 vehicles and 8 motorcycles. I like the camaraderie of the club and of the group of people and the vehicles, and as long as that's there, I'll be here.
It's not necessary in the club to either have an interest or have been in the military, or even to own a military vehicle. We have people from all walks of life involved that have no military background or even no mechanical skills like myself are very little, but you can still partake in the group in different ways.
Joined because my husband is actually still in the army and has an interest in it, and same, I've no kids, but it was either stay at home or join the club, so I joined.
The range, the youngest members in the club are in their 20s, the oldest members are in their 60s, and we have a great spread of people from different parts of Ireland, mostly Kildare, Dublin, that type of area. So most people are within easy reach of the yard. The yard is, I would think, one of the focal points of the club, because we meet every Sunday and we work in the yard, and this keeps the club close together and keeps the people who work working closely, and it makes for a better group as far as I'm concerned. The
camaraderie of the group is good. You know, you can come, you can do what you have to do, or you can just stand by and listen to people talking. If that's all you want to do for the day, there's no pressure on people to perform to a certain standard or anything like that. So yeah, that's why we do it. It's a very easygoing group.
Probably seeing who's broke what and what I have to fix, but mainly all just coming to see the guys, have a bit of a laugh, chat, and drink too much coffee.
Hi, I'm Jennifer. I'm a member of the Irish Military Vehicle Group, and this is our 1995 Nissan Patrol Irish. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Declan Gaffney. I'm with the Irish Military Vehicles Group. This is my 1969 Series 2A Land Rover.
How are you doing? I'm Conor MacDonald. I'm the treasurer of the IMVG, and this is Hannard AML.
My name's Finbar and I'm driving a Saracen Mark 1 APC.